Welcome back, YouTube. Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to install a new exhaust on the 2026 Aprilia Tuono. This will also apply to the Tuono factory. This is the standard model, but the exhaust and everything is the same on the factory model. And from what I heard, this install will also work from the 21 through 24 model year RSV4 and Tuonos. Apparently, the changes that were made to this 26 is only the fact that they moved a part of the exhaust, I think the cat, up to here instead of down here, or some sort of change right here, but the rest of it will be the same. And we're not getting rid of this canister. The main reason is because if you do that, you have to tune the bike, and the full exhaust is way, way more expensive. And I wasn't trying to. We got ourselves the Leo Vinci LV Corsa exhaust in the carbon fiber, and we got the shorty canister. So in the box, I already opened it up, but in the box you get the link pipe, you get the canister, and a few nuts and bolts. But we'll go through that as time comes. By the way, I also apologize for the crap that I got in the garage. I'm doing some work out on the back porch, and I had to move all my stuff into the garage. So I apologize for all that. But let's get to it. One thing I forgot to mention. One very important thing that you have to have is the HeelTech Servo Buddy. This is 65 bucks for one of these, and basically it plugs in and eliminates the servo. The servo runs these cables and runs all up along the back of the frame here on the right hand side, and it runs over to this box right here behind this fairing. So what we have to do is we have to take out a bolt, which I already removed here, but this one is a 4mm hex like this. Take this one out. This is a Torx, and it is a T20, a Torx 20. And then I can't show you because just where it is, but on the back side here, there's some push pins that look like this. And basically you just pop the center out and pull the pin out, and there's two of them that you have to take off. And basically you could take this whole panel off right here. I'm not going to, because all I need to do is get to this box. So all I gotta do is have enough space to move it back. And when you do, you get you a 5mm hex. If you don't have one of these, listen, go over to any tool store. I think even like AutoZone or O'Reilly will have something like this. And this one in particular came in a set of 3. So you notice how this is angled out. There's another one that is straight, and then there's another one that's angled in. And it's great because for this particular project, you can stick the hex right in here, and this end is bent out, so you can just jam it up into a tight space and wrench it out. These things are pretty cheap, but they're a lifesaver. They come in very handy. And then you get a like a set of bits with different, like whether Torx or screwdriver or whatever. And this is ratcheting also, and you can flip the direction. So anyway, get you a set of these. These are Matco ones. They're pretty expensive, but you can get the off-brand ones, and they work just as fine. Anyway, shout out to Matco for these things. They're a lifesaver. Anyway, so then once you have access here, all you gotta do is take 2 bolts out, and let me see if I can show you where it is. There's one right here, this one, and then there's a nut right here that holds this fairing. It's a 12mm nut. So you just get you a wrench, a cool Matco wrench, and take this out. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that out. And then the one thing I do wanna check is, because this is a 2026 model, they said that the Servo Buddy that works for the 21 through 24 models also works for the 26. However, I heard that they changed it. So we're gonna find out. Before I even take the exhaust off, I'm gonna take this out, unplug it, and see if the Servo Buddy fits in there before I do anything else. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove these. By the way, I'm filming by myself. I don't have a cameraman, and I don't have a stand to put the camera on where you can watch this. But basically, I'm just gonna take out that first silver bolt I told you about, and then this 12mm, and it should drop this box. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So the Servo Buddy does fit. there's a plug right here on the bottom, right here, that you just unplug and plug this little servo buddy in there. And so now you have to take the cables out. This is the tricky part, because up here there's a clip that holds the cables, these servo flapper cables, and it runs up all along the frame, and there's one up here, there's one up here, a clip between the engine, it's right here, between the cylinder head and the frame, and then there's another one right here. This one's more of the pain in the ass. The other ones are just simply a clip that holds two cables in it, and it's stuck to the frame on the inside. This one comes out pretty easily. You just stick a screwdriver in there, grab the cable and push, and it pops right out. This one, the clip is actually wrapped around it, so I'm gonna have to cut that clip. But basically it just holds the cable, and then you just disconnect it here, and then you pull it out, and we're gonna have to take the cables out of the servo motor and then put the motor back in. But we'll get to that in just a minute. But right now, I need to go ahead and disconnect it here and pull this whole assembly out. So I unplug this plug here. I don't know what that goes to, and there's one on top right here. We're gonna have to unplug those, and then this whole assembly will just come out. And then we're gonna take the cables out, and then we'll get to the exhaust. So anyway, let me fish these cables out. I'm just gonna take these off and fish these cables out and pull this whole assembly out, and then I'll show you how it works. All right, gents, we got the servo motor out. It was a little bit of a pain in the ass to get these wires out, because there's a zip tie that broke off somewhere. Here it is. This little zip tie is on the clamp right up here behind this frame. It was a pain in the ass, but I took a pair of pliers like this, an angle pair of pliers, and grabbed it and just twisted it and broke it. And then I just yanked the wires all the way through. So basically I disconnected them down here at this end, right here, and I just fished them on through. And that was the hardest part, really, this one little clip and zip tie. The rest of it was easy. Anyway, there's the servo buddy plugged in. But now we got to take these out because this is going back in. And I guess you don't have to put this back in because you're not using the servo motor, but I need this bracket here. So this bracket's going to have to go back. But I'm actually tempted to just take this entire bracket off right here and just put this part back on. I'm sorry, just this piece. So I think if I just take these bolts out right here, I can put this up there and zip tie all those wires, and this whole thing can leave because I don't need the motor. So let's do that. Let me take these bolts out and try to put that back in there and see if it'll. I put basically this bracket that came off the front of the motor here, and I put this bracket back on there just so that this piece will be held on by that screw. In fact, this screw right here goes in here. And after this, I'm just going to put this one Torx back in, these push pins, so that that's all put back together because there's nothing else that needs to be done here. And the exhaust to come off is very easy. There's a 13 millimeter bolt right here for the strap for the exhaust, and then a 6 millimeter Allen head on the front and a 13 millimeter nut on the back. I loosened it up just so I know what the size is for the video, but it's a 13 millimeter nut on the back with a 6 millimeter hex. Once this comes off, this whole piece will just slide off, and then we can go ahead and put the new exhaust on and see how it fits. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the exhaust is on. So basically, let's do a quick walkthrough. The cables came out, the servo motor, plugged in the servo buddy. I showed you that part. I put the fairing back together, just the two push pins on the inside, on the front. Put this screw in, put that screw back in. Took off the 6 millimeter Allen, 13 millimeter nut on the back. Loosened up the 13 millimeter strap on the front. Pulled the exhaust off. Had a little trouble getting it off, but with some finessing, I yanked it off. Put this link pipe on with the new strap, which is a 5 millimeter Allen head to torque it down. And then a 6 millimeter nut with a 6 millimeter Allen bolt with a 13 millimeter nut on the back and a spacer up here between the passenger foot peg, and tighten that all down. And then it comes with this carbon fiber heel guard for your right foot. Basically, it has a 4 millimeter hex nut, or I mean bolt. It's got a washer, and then on the bottom, just underneath the washer, and also on the bottom, there's a carbon heat guard washer that goes on. Tighten these down. I wiped it down just to get my fingerprints off the pipe, and it's done. So cross my fingers that we don't have a check engine light or nothing crazy happens, because you never know with these Italian bikes, right? But this is the Leo Vinci Carbon LV Corsa. Should be loud as hell and obnoxious. But I know that this is the moment that everyone on this video has been waiting for. And to be honest with you, me too. So I didn't show you the before because there's a million videos out there on the internet of what it sounds like. Plus, it really doesn't come through on camera. It's kind of janky. The exhaust from these things from the factory are pretty piss poor. They're quiet. I mean, they're okay, but I wouldn't even say okay at best. They do all right for the city street. They sound fine, but this should be loud and obnoxious. So let me get the bike out of the garage and we'll fire this thing up, see what it does. All right, people, let's check it out, see what happens. Right, so I know that the sound didn't come through on camera. It probably didn't sound half as good on camera as it does in person. Is it loud? Yes. Is it obnoxious? Yes. Is it overly obnoxious? I don't think so. I think it sounds amazing. Now I just can't wait to see what my buddies I ride with, what they have to say and how it sounds. And I can't wait to take it out on the road and do a video with it and see how it sounds. I don't know how it comes through on camera, but I'm sure it's nowhere near what it sounds like in person. This thing is loud, it's mean, it's just a nasty sound. So I can't wait to take it out for a ride. But that video will be coming out in the near future. But this is the install. It's pretty simple. It's not hard to do. Like I said, the biggest pain in the ass is just getting the cables pulled out. It's pretty easy to get the servo motor. It's just right here. Very easy to take off. I got rid of the whole entire motor, cables and everything, and plugged in the servo buddy, and so far so good. And I left my light stuck in the radiator. I probably would have lost this thing, but anyway, yeah. So that's the install. On a difficulty scale, I would say probably 2 or 3. And it'd probably be a 1 or 2 if it wasn't for that stupid cable running on the inside, which is kind of a pain in the ass. Very minimal tools that you need. Just a couple of hex heads, a couple of wrenches, maybe some sort of a cutter to cut the zip tie, and then maybe a screwdriver. And that's about it. So pretty much anybody can do this with some basic hand tools. So anyway, the Leo Vinci, we'll talk about why I got this one versus anything else. There's a good reason why I got this one. And we'll talk about that in another video. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them below. And as always, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next video.